Hello and welcome to Behind the Frame. The supposedly real-life hauntings that inspired 2013's The Conjuring and 2015's The Conjuring 2 sound so terrifying they seem like the work of Hollywood writers. While they are based on the writings of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, some wonder if they are fact or fiction. Ed, a self-proclaimed demonologist, and Lorraine, a professed medium, built a strong reputation after founding the New England Society for Psychic Research in 1952. One of their most famous cases involved the Perron family, who moved into a 14-room farmhouse in Rhode Island in 1971. The family reported strange noises, odd smells, and objects disappearing. They later learned the house had been in the same family for 8 generations, many of whom died under suspicious circumstances. A spirit named Bathsheba was depicted in the film as a real-life Satanist who tormented the family. During a seance conducted by Lorraine, the mother, Carolyn Perron, allegedly became possessed, speaking in a demonic voice and levitating. The family endured these experiences for a decade until moving out in the 1980s, after which the phenomena ceased. Similarly, the Warrens investigated the Hodgson family haunting in England in the late 1970s, which inspired The Conjuring 2. This case reported furniture moving on its own, flying objects, and strange noises, which ended mysteriously after 2 years. Both cases helped shape the frightening world of the Conjuring franchise. The Exorcist is based on the true story of a 13-year-old boy, referred to as Roland Doe, who claimed to experience strange phenomena after his aunt's death in the late 1940s. The claims were that his mattress moved, mysterious scratches appeared on his body, and odd noises filled his room. The story continues that his parents took him to St. Louis after a failed exorcism attempt in Maryland. There, priests claimed to observe trance-like states, guttural voices, and violent reactions to sacred objects. They believed Doe was possessed by 10 demons, claiming words mysteriously appeared on his chest. A final exorcism at the Alexian Brothers Hospital was deemed successful, and Doe declared he's gone. Those involved maintained it was true, but skeptics found many inconsistencies in the story. Open Water is a thriller film based on the real-life disappearance of Tom and Eileen Lonergan, a couple left behind in the ocean during a diving trip off the Great Barrier Reef. On the 25th of January 1998, the Lonergans, experienced divers from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, joined a group of 26 divers led by the Outer Edge Dive Company to explore the reef. After their dive, due to a head count mix-up, they were mistakenly left behind. Their absence wasn't noticed until 2 days later when their unclaimed belongings were discovered on the boat. A large search effort was launched, but no trace of the couple was found. Over time, their diving gear washed ashore, along with a chilling note written on a diving slate pleading for rescue. Though their bodies were never recovered, it is presumed they died from dehydration, exposure, drowning, or possibly a shark attack. The terrifying aspect of the story, that such a deadly mistake could happen to anyone, added to the fear that gripped audiences when Open Water was released. The real Annabelle doll, a Raggedy Ann, became infamous after it was reportedly possessed by a demonic entity. In 1970, Donna, a nursing student, received the doll as a gift and soon claimed it would mysteriously move and leave eerie messages, including notes saying, "Help me, help us." When the doll began leaking blood and appearing in different rooms, Donna and her roommate sought help from a purported medium who claimed the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins inhabited the doll. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren claimed they were incorrect and it was actually a demon trying to possess one of the women. The Warrens took the doll to their occult museum, where it remains locked in a glass case with a warning sign. Lorraine stated, "Looks are deceiving, suggesting the innocent doll was evil." The story inspired the Annabelle films in the Conjuring universe. The Amityville horror case centers around the brutal murders of the DeFeo family in 1974, when Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr. killed his parents, Louise and Ronald Sr., and his 4 siblings in their home at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. Ronald Jr. confessed to the murders, claiming to have shot all 6 family members with a .35 caliber rifle while they slept, though he initially lied about the involvement of others and changed his story multiple times during the investigation. In 1975, George and Kathy Lutz moved into the house with their 3 children, unaware of its dark history. They soon reported disturbing paranormal phenomena, including strange noises, cold spots, and feelings of being watched, prompting them to flee after just 28 days. The couple sought help from paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, whose involvement fueled public interest in the case. Their experiences in the house's horrific past were popularized through the 1977 book The Amityville Horror and subsequent films, though skepticism surrounds the Lutz's accounts and the authenticity of their experiences, leading to ongoing debate about the blending of fact and fiction in this infamous tale. The terrifying true story of Anneliese Michel inspired the 2005 film The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Anneliese was a devout Catholic teenager in Germany who began experiencing mysterious blackouts, convulsions and trances, leading to a diagnosis of temporal lobe epilepsy. Despite medication, her symptoms worsened and she became convinced she was possessed by demons, claiming to see the devil's face and hear whispers telling her she was damned. Desperate for relief, she and her family sought help from a priest, resulting in 2 priests conducting 67 exorcisms over 10 months. During these sessions, Michelle's health continued to decline, and she communicated through a low guttural growl as the demons apparently fought for control over her body. Tragically, she died from malnutrition and dehydration in 1976. Her parents and the priests were subsequently charged with negligent homicide, and the case became a national sensation in Germany, exemplifying the chilling reality behind horror films based on true stories. The legend of Bloody Mary, a popular urban myth, involves summoning a ghostly figure by chanting her name 3 times in front of a mirror in a dimly lit room, with the expectation that a terrifying apparition, a woman holding a dead baby, will appear. The myth is loosely based on Queen Mary I of England, known as Bloody Mary, who was the only child of King Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. Her reign from 1553 was marked by the Marian persecutions, during which she executed over 300 people, mainly Protestants, in an attempt to unify England under Catholicism. This brutal campaign earned her the chilling nickname. Despite her harsh legacy, Mary led a troubled life, suffering from depression and the heartache of not being able to bear children, which she viewed as punishment for her actions. She died young at 42, likely from cancer. The folklore surrounding Bloody Mary continues to be a source of fascination and fear, reflecting themes of female rage and power in popular culture. The 1996 film Scream redefined the horror genre with its blend of humour and mystery, drawing inspiration from the chilling true story of the Gainesville Ripper, Danny Rolling. In 1990, Rolling, a drifter with a traumatic background, committed a series of brutal murders in Gainesville, Florida, targeting college students. He first killed 18-year-old Sonia Larson and 17-year-old Christina Powell, raping them and posing their bodies in sexually suggestive positions. The following day, he murdered 18-year-old Krista Hoyt, decapitating her and placing her severed head on a shelf. His final victims, roommates Tracy Pauls and Manuel Taboada, were also brutally killed. The gruesome nature of these slayings sparked media attention, and when screenwriter Kevin Williamson saw the coverage, he was so disturbed, he drew from those nightmares to create the concept for Scream. Ed Gein, known as the Butcher of Plainfield, is the disturbing figure behind several iconic horror films, including the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, and The Silence of the Lambs. Raised by a strict Bible-thumping mother who instilled a belief that the world was evil, Gein led a reclusive life on their farm. Following the suspicious deaths of his brother and mother, he descended into madness, transforming his home into a gruesome house of horrors. When authorities investigated the disappearance of a local hardware store owner, they discovered a shocking array of human remains, including skulls, body parts fashioned into household items, and grotesque memorabilia made from human skin. Gein admitted to murder and to exhuming corpses from local graveyards, revealing that his ultimate goal was to create a woman suit to embody his deceased mother. His gruesome reality is far more chilling than the fictional portrayals inspired by his crimes. Valak, the demon featured in The Nun and inspired by accounts from paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, has gained international fame through films like The Nun and The Conjuring 2, but its legend extends back centuries. The name Valak first appeared in the medieval grimoire The Clavicule of Solomon, which details spells, conjurings, and the names of 72 demons supposedly vanquished by King Solomon. Valak is described as a boy with angel wings riding a 2-headed dragon, a stark contrast to its cinematic portrayal. Lorraine Warren claimed to director James Wan that it was a spectral entity appearing as a swirling tornado vortex with a hooded figure, which inspired the nun costume for the film, emphasising the conflict with Warren's Catholic faith. Although the clavicule was deemed heretical and placed on the Catholic Church's 1599 Index of Prohibited Books, it remains popular in Europe, as does the demon Valak, due to its depiction in the Conjuring franchise. The Hills Have Eyes franchise, particularly the 2006 remake, draws inspiration from the legend of 𝗬𝗍 Bean, a mythical figure in Scottish folklore known for leading a cannibalistic clan. Wes Craven, the director behind the original 1977 film, acknowledged that he couldn't entirely fabricate the grisly storylines for his horror movies, noting that real-life cannibalism stories provided a chilling backdrop. According to legend, 𝗬𝗍 Bean lived in a cave in remote Scotland with around 50 family members, including children from incestuous unions. This clan survived through murder and cannibalism, ambushing lone travellers to kill and eat them, often pickling the remains for future consumption. Their horrific activities went undetected for years until a failed ambush revealed their hideout, leading to their capture. By the end of their reign of terror, the number of victims was rumoured to be in the hundreds, and each family member faced a gruesome execution. The chilling tale of 𝗬𝗍 Bean continues to influence horror narratives, demonstrating how real-life horrors can inspire fictional storytelling. The film Winchester is inspired by the real-life story of the Winchester Mystery House and its eccentric owner, Sarah Winchester, although evidence of the actual presence of paranormal activity is spurious. Born into an affluent family in 1840, Sarah experienced profound tragedy when her daughter died, followed by her husband, William Wirt Winchester, leaving her alone and incredibly wealthy with a fortune from the Winchester firearms empire. To escape her grief, she moved to San Jose, California, where she began an elaborate construction project on a mansion, driven by a fear of the ghosts of those killed by her family's rifles. Believing that continuous building would appease the angry spirits, Sarah remodeled the house with a chaotic design, leading to peculiar features like staircases that led to nowhere and rooms sealed off from use. From 1886 until her death in 1922, construction was a constant endeavour, resulting in a sprawling estate with 200 rooms, 10,000 windows and 2,000 doors. While the mansion stands today as a testament to Sarah's grief and eccentricity, the haunted occurrences depicted in the film primarily existed in her troubled mind.